We vibing. Giving it till about 10 after to get this puppy started, because there is going to be a lot to do. Plus the music's just a mood. I lied. 9's my lucky number. Ah! All right. Let's get her booted up. Ship is online. Iron reserves are gone. The central housing district is still needing more bodies that they're working on. Tychon is fully engineered. But the Paranzi is not active in the moment. And I'm content to let that be. If I can get away with navigating the sector to start off with, that'd be great. Okay, I don't think I need more than 350 colonists right now. That's a bit silly. Oh, we're not fighting aliens yet. We're fighting essentially an offshoot of humanity. Yeah, so we didn't have to fight the UN because something else killed the UN.
The science ship has arrived at its destination.
This ship is over here right now. Also, what's the event? Several planetary readings from 12H fall outside parameters of theoretical models. We've landed on 12H, a planet with intense geological activity. Fissures expel gas into the atmosphere and canyons run deep across the planet's surface. We have located a stable area where we should be able to study 12H's phenomenon. Cleared. But I really do need some silicon.
Probe has completed its scan.
Okay, no one's on carbon duty. Good to know.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Ah, yes, people getting injured. Welcome to fucking the Tycoon. Nobody here practices safe practice at all. No one.
The crew's trust in your leadership is falling.
Oops.
Power supply overloaded. Power restored.
Everywhere is suffering and accident.
A probe has completed its scan. A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Our probe has detected abnormal meteorological activity present on PSR B12557 plus 12G, calling into question our theoretical models. We've descended from the upper atmosphere of 12G. Updrafts and downdrafts of ionized hydrogen form purple-shaded tornadoes and immense simulluminous clouds. Groups of tornadoes surround and circle a massive cyclone on the planet, large enough in size to be observable from space. Right, Ninja Zombie? So either out... I have so much fucking carbon that... This protocol directs for the fabrication of a drone adapted for the conditions set on PSR 12G. Though simple in design, the drone is sophisticated enough to collect the data necessary to improve our understanding of the extraordinary meteorological phenomenon on 12G. Everything could become storage. Yeah, well, we're kind of stuck for the moment, so... Commence research, because literally nothing is coming in at this point. Alright, finally we can store everything.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Actually, hold on. Okay, that looks really cool. Science is pretty fucking cool. Also, hi, Fireborn. Yeah, you're gonna run into that. Make sure that all working conditions are optimal, and you never will have people who just randomly explode from them. They'll get hurt, but they won't explode, which is important. Cockard, lion. Still not population tier 2. Holy shit, my dude. Hmm. 12E is an eligible candidate for colonization protocols. turn that off so I can get some polymers on. So we turn those off. Getting even a little bit of carbon out of there gets that back online. There we go! Wheels of industry can push on again.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon. A science ship team has completed a task.
We have completed our theoretical model of 12H. During our studies, Maddie Berger showed signs of mental distress. Concerns that gas expulsions were the cause, we carried out the standard suit integrity test. No breaches were found on their suit. Later, while we were submitting results, Maddie Berger was seen leaving the research site. Let's go find him.
No more resources available to mine.
We don't abandon our own. PA-assisted management. I want computing optimization, so I've got plenty of research. I've got cheaper stuff. We're mostly just waiting for a hot minute to try and get all this taken care of. I can see all that delicious iron.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Now, I'd be really
A
dick if
probe
they
has
did that.
completed its scan.
Reports from the Fermi team have become inconsistent, including psychological instability. According to the most recent transmission, the team is following tracks of Maddie Berger towards the house. Well, Naomi Protocol is there to do stupid shit. Okay. What is the house?
A science ship team has completed a task.
The drone fabrication pattern Coleman took off from the cargo bay of the Melon and descended on the planet's lower atmosphere. The collected data allowed the crew to update theoretical models on 12G. The team has concluded that the pulsar activity of the system has had significant impact on the atmosphere and conditions present on 12G. The phenomenon observed is unexplainable without external factors. While preparing to depart from 12G, the crew of the Melon spotted something unusual, different from the observed meteorological phenomenon. A translucent tubular formation pierces the cloud cover and rises high into the atmosphere. Alright, you're clear to check it.
science ship team has completed a task. An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Yeah, well, that's just life around here.
A probe has completed its scan.
Accidents for fucking days. Hey, just about everybody's woken up over here. Comms contact with the Fermis team has been lost. For a short time, we're still receiving mission reports. The house is much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. It has no interior light source and contains a series of mazes. Last report speaks of thumping sounds being heard. Shortly after this was received, the crew's suit signals were turned off one after the other. Just as the Fermi have been declared lost, Matty Berger connected the Tycon via the ship's comms. They have returned in our possession of a strange, translucent, and gelatinous sample. After rapid analysis, it is composed of unknown particles that are held together by Faust tachyons. Matty Berger appears to be extremely disoriented and requires medical assistance and psychological support. They are returning to the Tycon aboard the Fermi. Well, they saved someone. The first received images from Melon indeed reveal the presence of a huge and translucent tubular formation. Upon approach, it appears to possess luminescent properties. Around the formation, the meteorological activity is almost calm and glimpses of the planet's telluric core can be seen. The captured imagery disproves the hypothesis of crew hallucination, and the team wishes to continue with further analysis. You are cleared for operation. Jesus, that is expensive on steel. But okay, I'll play ball. I packed all this hydrogen in anyway. May as well get to enjoy the benefits of doing so.
Accident has occurred in the Tycoon. A science ship team has completed a task.
The data collected is quite contradictory. The majority of measurements match those taken in other area of 12G's atmosphere. However, readings from the beacons seem to fluctuate. Isolating these anomalies while excluding the background data suggests that the tubing generates a weak electromagnetic field, beta radiation, and Faust tachyons. The Melons team has established several theories and is recommending a more invasive follow-up study. Mission safety protocols advise the team who are exhibiting a concerning amount concerning form of fascination from the tubing should be repatriated. This clearly isn't a bad idea. Also, hello there, Shira. Welcome, welcome. How's it going?
Completed a task.
Oh, there's plenty in the way of bad ideas. Let that not be mistaken. I need... Right, it's less workers, not less power. According to the mission reports, the crew member had set up half the beacons before becoming seemingly transfixed, mumbling incoherently and raising their arms upward. The tubing volatilized. Among the vapor and fumes, the few activated sensor beacons picked up traces similar to those left by propulsion systems. Fuck.
A probe has completed its scan.
I could have made it cheaper to... well. Just don't build more than one and we'll be fine. Wait, this thing requires power to function? I thought the entire point was that was supposed to give me power.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
I swear to God, if this is a net zero... Cyberpunk was wrong. No one wants to implant pieces of metal within themselves that need to be repaired, cleaned, and will eventually become obsolete in 5 years' time. The genre did not foresee that our enhanced organs would be able to be located outside of our bodies, and that we would dispose or replace them at our own convenience. First readings from 12D indicate the planet experiences intense geothermic activity and extremely high temperatures. Its surface is largely covered with molten basaltic rock. Well, balstic or whatever. Basalt. We've located wow, why can't I speak? A promontory where we could land the Fermi. Conditions on the planet are extremely dangerous. Soaring temperatures, unusual gravity. We recommend only a quick surface analysis, opposed to any further explanation that could lead to human and material losses. Well, thankfully, I have exoskeletons, so eat shit.
accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Hello there. Hello. Wow. We are doing all right over here. Thank you for asking, Liquarian. Oh, Liquitrian. How are you? I know I peeked in for a moment and saw that Masters of Magic was extremely disappointing. Which, trust me, that was a little upsetting. No, it's just that my tongue apparently is not bouncing correctly right now. We don't have a need for ice anymore. So honestly, you can be my primary hydrogen restorer. That is quite understandable. I hope it goes well. But as long as you keep a stiff upper lip, they're interested in you. They're looking for you, so... you should be good. Believe in yourself, you got this.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
We have landed on 12F. Its surface is covered in ice, and the planet is bathed in a red mist around 100 meters in height. Numerous ice formations pierce the mist and extend skyward. The atmosphere radiates a blue light when illuminated by the system's pulsar. Oh. There we go. And hey, well, I'm glad you've been enjoying your stay. Third is not a bad place to be. Okay, I know I have more iron that's just not being exported.
Scan. An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Yup, ain't that right, Thunderclap?
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Okay, who's being rude and cruel and inhumane to who? Administrator, crew members are spreading rumors about the DLS. They think they are under constant observation that the information they receive has been changed to encourage them to comply with Dolos guidelines. They are not wrong, but their interpretation of the process is crude. They are not being monitored but recorded, so that if there is any doubt about an individual, their behavioral record could be reviewed. The information is not altered, but expressed to the individual in a personalized manner to ensure their continued emotional stability. Should a statement be made in response to the rumors? These data collection practices are managed by the PA of the Tycoon. As an administrator, I am also under their supervision. These systems are crucial for the balance of the station. Ah, yes, the grimdark future of matters. Oh, wait, I can do one more thing of solar panel upgrades. That might be squeeze out just what I need to get the power plant up and running efficiently. God, those probes go so slow, and worse off, it's gonna get destroyed, It's gonna get destroyed in the storm. Well, here's the problem, Shira. It's not like we have the luxury of personal freedoms at this point.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
While the Fermi's crew were carrying out their research, they became trapped via a lava tide. The phenomenon had been theorized, but subject to debate within the Tycoon scientific community. Today, the theory has been verified. The crew have taken refuge near the Fermi on a rocky outcrop. The ship has been damaged by the lava and will not be able to take off with the crew on board. The last of the resources of the Fermi will be used to send the crew's emergency cryopods into space. That fucking blows. Well, at least I'm getting my crew back.
Warning. A sector is being overworked.
Oh god, that takes 60 people in there. Well, Sector 6, you're getting a fresh infusion of workers.
Population transfer complete.
Grimcon, absolutely the point. Okay, Sector 6 is powered on. Well, that produces a lot of waste. We can make this a part of the trash cycle. Oh shit, I sent the workers in the wrong location. Sector 5. Hand over your oddly dense worker population. Now, for right now, I don't need the power. But I will keep that in mind when I do need the power.
Population transfer complete.
Huh, the probe actually made it. Should have been utterly obliterated. I don't have carbon in this sector anymore. Reassign the docking station with the melon, which allows us to build the other science ship here. That's less a visual glitch and more of an active storm that's going on. I mean, yeah, you roll dice, but with how slow the probe was going, it was extremely unreliable. So if that's the amount of trash it's putting out, there may be a very real justifiable case where I can turn this into a recycling facility. Hey, Fedora. It's going alright. Just trying to make sure these lemmings don't die. Turning on the power plant for now. Industry online. I've got so much fucking science that let's get the rest of our science tree going on.
An accident has occurred in the typhoon.
A team can only be comprised of a team can be comprised of only colleagues, but it's much more efficient when they become friends, and mountains can be moved when they become family. If that science ship is able to clear the distance, I'll call that a worthy planetary effort.
The crew's trust in your leadership is falling. Power supply overloaded.
Why are we overloaded?
Power restored. A probe has completed its scan. A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Well then, I am authorizing the mission through the cloud. We have landed on 12E. Though it is much warmer and humid climate than that on Earth, it does possess oxygen and other materials that would prove useful for a colonization test. Let's get it moving. High risk leads to high reward, but sometimes also to your death. I specifically have reinforced ships too, so that should be fine. Which it could be fun. Indeed.
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
Actually, one of the Discord lads is looking to boot up Witcher 3 as well, so that's rather, what's the right word? Autonomous? Get those allies moving. Computing optimization. By identifying various idle computer workstations and systematically using their computing power, we would gain considerable resultant power to apply to all of our operations. 5 science for every 3 cycles. That's the good shit. Ah, yes, Gwent. I heard that game was, like, crack for, like, a majority of people who played the game. Hello, Kier-chan. We're just cruising along nicely.
Has completed a task.
12F. Sample analysis indicates that the outgassing of nitrogen dioxide below the surface of 12F and subsequent atmospheric mixing results in the red mist which dominates the planet's lower atmosphere. The team of the Melon was also able to establish parallels between the datasets collected on Crew 943 and 12F's geological activity. Abnormal levels of Fraustapians were detected beneath the planet's surface, the cause of which is unknown. That's a big dump of science. But I am doing well, thank you for asking. Excited for tomorrow. You know what? Avoid that for now. We got safer access to hydrogen elsewhere, so who cares? Well, that's because I'm flying out back west to go hang out with the family for Christmas. I have found a way how I can recycle my trash, use my alloys, and keep my trash economy going. This is actually kind of amazing. What the hell? Controlled symbiosis is needed from the mushroom walls, so we will... Actually, I don't even need to improve my crop yields at this point. Let us try... Don't really need charging speed. I'll just get my science ships taken care of, because that's a whole lot of science I could have benefited from that I haven't
An
yet.
accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Oh, Sector 5 is running out of workers. Hold on. 1 to 5, I could, like, dump another, like, 30 workers over there. Then they could take another building for domestic matters. Advanced design instruction. Okay, so I need that instead. So that'll get done fairly quickly.
Population transfer complete.
Well, the main problem with Spore, that's a thing where it's just incredibly grindy. Just so supremely grindy, especially when you try to play nice. It's a little dumb, actually.
Population transfer complete.
Spore's fun, just wish, you know, people weren't so pants-on-head retarded and actually could do, you know, things on their own volition. A lot of preparatory tech, which is much easier now that my research rates are through the roof. Burn that science. Keep it going. Well, yeah. Speed is life. You go slow, you die. Hello there, Zephyr. Greetings, greetings. Not yet started. As predicted, we didn't wake up the sleeping beast yet, so I'm just taking full advantage of all the science I'm able to do right now. Which makes my, ships much better at their job. That cloud seemingly isn't doing anything, which fits my needs just fine. Where there's no more room in the trunk, we add a roof rack. Well, it's currently powered down right now, so I'm more than happy to just let it be powered down. He's talking, Spore. I will say, there is not that much iron. Could be very much the case that the others here have already consumed the iron. Or I'm just not finding said iron. I've got plenty of stocks, and if I need to, I can recycle more iron pretty easily, but I'd rather consume the... there's our storage of iron, right over there. Or a new storage.
A probe has completed its scan.
The ship's PA has become corrupt during our descent to 12J, and we had to shut it down. As a result, we can only transmit partial information. Guided by the wind currents of the planet, we were able to locate a suitable landing area. Angular and extraordinary crystalline structures composed of sodium chloride rise from the planet's surface. Our time on 12J must be short, its electromagnetic activity seems to be imparting the melanin in its systems. Figure out what's going on with the electromagnetism. Because there's some wacky shit going on with that. I don't know! It is a pulsar.
Has completed a task.
While carrying out the spectrometric analysis, the team of the Melon located the source of the electromagnetic emissions coming from an angular tunnel. With a crystalline composition, the sides of the tunnel reflect like mirrors. The team's report detail how they advance. Dark shapes move within the mirror-like walls and remove the crew's reflected cells. These accounts would be dismissed as hallucinations. However, the visual capture of the team confirms the reports only one crew member appears to still possess their reflection. Psychological monitoring of the Melon team registers rising levels of panic among its members. Shattering the mirrors of a tunnel that's probably unstable is not a good idea. It's a trick of the light. You're fine.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon. A probe has completed its scan.
Oh wow, we're actually out of science for once. There's another. Oh, the probe launcher got blasted. Damn it. And good question. We won't question our good providence.
A probe has completed its scan. A science ship team has completed a task.
For a short period of time, contact was lost with the team in the Melon. When re-established, only Matthew Equum reported in. They have transmitted a report that is incredibly detailed and for a length that indicates the completion of several decades of work. Their vital signs are extremely worrying, and they seem to be extremely fatigued. That... well, damn it. Casualties and nothing to pull from the planet, that's not a win. Well, I was figuring that smashing the windows and having a crystalline structure come in on their head, it may have been something with the mirrors or electromagnetic frequency or something happened down there regarding it. It may have been smashing the mirrors was the right call, but a trick of the light.
Has completed its scan.
I was thinking it was more trick of light because electromagnetism and, reflective crystals rather than, risking the structural integrity.
An accident
They could have gone
occurred in
bonkers,
the
but it
Tycoon.
also reported that the people on the inside apparently went through several decades of work.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Risk does not exist in a purely deterministic world. Risk is only the admission of our ignorance. The colony has been established. The Melon has been recrewed. Let's get it moving. It is a temporary test colony. Ever since Chapter 2, we've been able to establish small colonies for the purpose of testing structural, or rather, getting a feel for how a colony would be established before we actually touch down and make a permanent residence.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Our probe has detected a Dolos signal. There's some wreckage here, not much larger in size than the Medusae. Contained within is a distress beacon. Its emitted signal is incredibly similar to those that the Titan uses. Well, something tells me that's a lure, and they're about to have some explodium happen, but you never know. Maybe it actually is in good faith.
A probe has completed its scan.
Certainly the tool does not make the craftsman, but imagine if Michelangelo had access to plasma cutters. Right?
A science ship team has completed a task.
Huh? The team has identified the fragmented wreck as part of the Titan? Hold on, what in the fuck? The team has identified the fragmented wreck as part of the Titan. A large amount of Faust tachyons was detected in the area, as well as the frozen corpse of the Titan crew member York Sox. Recruiting DLS data confirms that York Sock is alive and well on the station. Titan engineers have also verified the components and plating found in the wreck are still in their proper place in the Titan. Well, that just confirmed that, any timeline in which, you fail to, succeed is, yeah.
Happy New Year, Administrator.
I think we've been at it for 4 in-game years.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
First indicatings of 12C indicate the presence of extremely intense meteorological activity on the planet. Initial imagery captures hexagonally shaped cyclones. The planet's core appears to be surrounded by a layer of liquid hydrogen. Many moons orbit 12C, surrounded by clusters of asteroids in unusual arrangements. Preliminary surveys have identified many telluric promontories emerging from 12C's ocean of liquid hydrogen. We should be able to establish a research site upon one of these promontories with the help of our gaseous exploration equipment. From this closer vantage point, we can see the asteroids that surround the planet's moons. They are almost perfectly spherical in shape. We've got the blue option, so we're taking the blue option.
A probe has completed its scan. A science ship team has completed a task.
Looks like I've handled most of the research here, so it's just a matter of being careful. The wreck has been successfully dismantled. Recovered resources ready for cargo ship pickup. There's no trace left of this strange phenomenon. Sedition cell upgrade. So I think I understand what happened with that Tyken. They went very, let's say, corporate, and it didn't work out well for them. When a system imposes unbearable things on its population, just make the situation a fraction easier, and humans will accept the unacceptable. Whole temple, praise it, feed it, be it. Ooh, fun things with roleplay groups. Those are fun indeed. I might be aware of Transformers.
A science ship team has completed a task.
The atmosphere of 12C is extremely hostile. When we were conducting our surveys, a cyclone rose up and pinned us down. Manishaka Roy and myself were separated from the others. When the winds abated and gave us some respite, we managed to regroup. The others, however, their suits are orange in color. It's not from environmental factors. They insist that Dolos has always had orange suits. This is clearly untrue, and Manishaka and Roy and myself are wearing standard Dolos yellow. They are indeed our crewmates, and medical and psychological analysis does not reveal any deviance. Huh, Naomi Protocol is actually allowing us to bring them back. It's just a change in... That's what's going on with the Pulsar. Okay, that's why we had weird shit happen on that one planet, and why things are suddenly moving so fast. It's because the Pulsar over there, from what it sounds like, is doing some timey-wimey fucking things with us. Have you ever seen pictures of the first hair dryers, the first computers, the first RAM? Now tell yourself what we considered modern and small today will surely be miniaturized tomorrow. Also, bless little rat people. We're rats. We're rats. We're the rats.
A probe has completed its scan. Probe has completed its scan.
The variable size of asteroids and constraints of space will push us to develop compact systems, allowing us to reach variable depths. Without these, extraction will be long, difficult, and only allow us to scratch the surface. Okay, that is fucking hilarious.
An accident has
That
occurred
is a
in the
memorable
typhoon.
encounter, to say the least. The equivalent of Billy Mays the Rat coming in full-on Junker power armor. And probably armed to the fucking teeth, too. Just coming on in, wrecking your shit. Like, that's a moment of, what? And then you just, yeah, that's a good time. No combat, you say? Okay, that is actually glorious. So everyone was able to have a good time. One of Faust's greatest inventions was of the particles found in self-similar space. By utilizing these, we should be able to further improve the propulsion of the EKP engine. Done. It's not like I don't got more science than I know what to do with right now. Okay, let's go kick the hornet's nest.
A probe has completed its scan.
Again, that just sounds metal as hell. Praise your group for being able to embrace fun.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
The Paranasse has been located. The initial visuals indicate that it has suffered heavy damage. Our sensors are not detecting any activity on board the ship. I can imagine. The fact that your players got to vibe with you and you got to pull that. It hit, the reference hit, they knew what was going on. That is always just bang on. We've entered the Paranasse. There is neither light source nor gravity within the ship. Many modifications have been made to its structure. The walls are an unknown shiny black metal that distorts the vision. The corridors we pass through are sometimes similar in design to those of Dolos or the UN. In some places, however, passageways are almost organic in shape. We did discover a large memorial. The statue at the center is obscured by the many cables, pipes, and conduits that lead away from it to the ship. We could make out the words property of BMS at its base. If the team was not so anxious, we would have stopped to carry out further observation. The Medusa's team will travel deeper into the Paranasse to find devices that hold the full coordinates of Remus. Like it or not, they're the hopes of the ship right now.
An accident has occurred in the Titan.
By being fitted with scale-like cladding inspired by the skin of certain large lizards, the Titan should be able to limit hull attrition by using the EKP engine. Oh, that's definitely going to happen.
Team has completed a task.
We have found them. The devices holding the Remus coordinates are behind a heavy reinforced door. We have tried several different approaches to open it, but it isn't even succeeding in scratching it. Connecting the Tyken and Eden to the Paranazi would allow us to power and reactivate the door's control subsystems. The connection is also necessary for the extraction and transfer of the Remus coordinates from the devices to the Tyken. Administrator, one other thing. Shortly before we found the devices, we passed an effigy of Giovanni Battista, former member of the Marduk Council. Ah, yes, we are absolutely gonna go kick the fucking hornet's nest now. The Tyken is a prototype station. It's not designed to last indefinitely in space. If its mission should be prolonged, keeping the hull in good condition will be a constant task. The amount of "this is probably a bad idea" is coming on strong right now. But consider it's the only option to get our objective. Starting a DDoS attack to flood the network. Eden Vigilance. Once the Tycoon is connected, we'll be able to power and short-circuit the subsystems of the reinforced door. Coordinate transfer from the devices to the Tycoon will then be initiated across the connection.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Administrator, we cannot, please, we must keep moving forward. PSR B1257 cannot be our final resting place. Hi, Dead Earth Sickness. With R&D completed after field analysis, the Tycon's hull could be transformed. Creating a supporting framework of hydraulic jacks, these would absorb a large portion of the impact should various astral bodies come into contact with the station.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Administrator, the Paranazi is reactivating. We had to manually break connection from the Tyken, interrupting the coordinate transfer. The damn wall started to move. Thanks to our exoskeletons, we're making for the Medusa as fast as we can.
Administrator, the Piranesi has deployed a drone swarm around itself. We should move the Tycoon immediately.
Keep moving. The crew of the Medusa is rushing back to their ship. They'll make it.
Administrator, I see you. Pitiful Dolos leftovers. Ridiculous flesh bags. You are flies to me. I'll tear you apart, eat you, digest you, and soon you, your crew, the Tycoon, and whatever's left of Dolos will be part of me. I am primordial. I am Amoeba. You are nothing but erratic illusion, pointless heat dissipation, and abject failure. I have found your protection. It is but a matter of time before Naomi breaks into pieces, and I feast on your carcass. Opportunity knocks.
Now is the time to run. The station is under attack. We're actually out repairing them. Hell yeah. Take your fucking time, assholes. We're just enjoying a mild breeze out here. We're barely keeping up, though.
A science ship team has completed a task.
The Paranazi has awakened. Previously dormant drones now roam the passageways of the ship. They killed the team and destroyed the Medusa. Fuck. We gave them their chance. Time to bail. What's important is we gave them the chance. Realistically, yeah, the thing can summon a drone swarm. They never had a chance in hell. But we still had to give them the chance. Stand and fight would have been a noble sacrifice. There is no way that they could have fought through a full-on ship drone swarm of shit. Administrator, there is fear. Data algorithms have been overloaded. Diagnostics indicate external interference. Images of the Paranazi flood every screen. They haunt dreams and leave indelible marks. You have a plan to save us from this monster, recover the coordinates of Remus. Administrator, there is fear. Fucking hell. Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow its consistent internal logic at times. To speed up data transfer, mobile or otherwise, most of the time all you need to do is increase the number of connections. Sealed environment. There's something sexy about the void.
The Piranesi has launched a missile targeting the Tycoon.
Yeah, thankfully we got countermeasures up, so eat shit.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Let's see what happens when we hit it with a countermeasure. Eliminated. Yeah, the problem is I don't exactly have a game plan because all we did was build defenses, but we have no weapon system. Which is, needless to say, a bit of a problem.
A drone swarm has been released from the Piranesi. The swarm aims to intercept the Tycoon.
Well, thankfully, we're so thoroughly prepared that, the ship can still be at full blast, and I'm perfectly sufficient. Where is cell housing? I want bioelectricity. Oh, waste heat recovery is something I need. Okay. Waste heat recovery.
Caution. Entering stellar storm.
Yeah, maneuvering around in this...
The Piranesi is moving towards us. An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
So now I have to wonder, is, you wanna mess with me in the storm? There's gotta be something I can do that's proactive in the moment. That or they fully expected you to, you know, be caught with your pants down, so you're managing to, you have to do your sector exploration and deal with a giant death ship. But here's the thing, you already pulled this trick twice on me. So, yeah, the Paranazi's AI is fucking magnificent. Like, that is good shit.
A new request awaits your attention. Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
Administrator, this is Hane Kurobuki from Sector 1 Scientific Syndicate. With Eden appearing to be severely dysfunctional, we've had an attempt to bypass the usual communication protocols. I don't know if you received this message. I hope that you do. The Paranazi is the biggest threat we've ever faced. As soon as the first reports of the Etzmanaki's destruction reached our ears, we secretly began to investigate to find a way to neutralize this new threat. At the center of the system lies PSR B1257 plus 12A, a long-interval pulsar. Despite all of its power, we think that in its current state, the Paranazi could not withstand a pulse from PSR 12A. However, the Tycoon would not survive such a pulse either. You must send an expedition to 12A to find a solution. Administrator, there's a lot of rumors about you. Some say that you don't exist, that you're long lost in cryosleep. Some even believe that Eden is impersonating you. Others, including myself, have faith in you as our administrator. Save the Tycoon, save this crew, save what's left of humanity. I hear you. Right, they got destroyed.
The Pyrenees has launched a missile targeting the Tycoon. Tycoon self-destruct in 10 seconds.
Hold on, the flying fuck?
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. No Batista self-destruct device detected. Self-destruction impossible.
I thought we developed hacking countermeasures. We are in orbit of PSR-12A. This pulsar is huge. Preliminary analysis confirms the forecast from the Sector 1 Scientific Syndicate. We'll do everything we can to find a way to use the power of the pulsar against the Piranaze. 10 cycles to deal with that shit. Oh boy.
An important message from our colonization mission requires your attention.
We've completed our colonial study. Colonization rates of the planets like 12E are estimated to be 34.8%. Please authorize extraction preparation. We hear you. Let's bring you home.
A cyber attack launched by the Piranesi has disabled several missiles.
Not being a fan of factory builder games does not mean you're stupid. It's just not your thing. Or that you just haven't wrapped your mind around the problem yet. Because factory games are a problem-solving game. Hey, wanted to give it another shot, different medium a shot. That is a cyber swarm.
Caution. Entering stellar storm. New coordinates have been set. The Tycoon is now moving towards the Piranesi.
Eat shit. I'm already mid-transit. You can't stop my course.
The Piranesi has launched a missile targeting the Tycoon.
Mid-game is just slow and boring. Let's get him. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get a good... I mean, maybe mods, if I could recommend that, but it's still XCOM at its core, and if you're kind of just good with XCOM for the time being.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Bring our boys home. Not leaving them behind.
A science ship team has completed a task.
We've taken many readings and conducted a comprehensive analysis of 12A's activity. We're now able to submit a proposal that adapts the Titan's architecture and works the whole like a Faraday cage. We've also developed a theoretical device that we've named Icarus 3. The device would allow us to induce a pulse from ESR-12A. To proceed, the Titan's tech lab needs to analyze the remaining data and fabricate the construction patterns. It's not worse. I mean, it is worse, but it's not awful. It's just different, and different in a way that's not... Naomi Protocol. This is Jale Ramanev, the Commander-in-Chief of the UNSS Etamanaki. Vigorous combat with the BMS Paranazis concluded with the use of the main weapon pulverizing our ship. They then disappears, retreating into the dark using forbidden technology. Emergency cryonic protocols have been activated. If anyone finds our wreckage, may you forgive our weakness. God bless the United Nations. Yeah. If you're looking for complexion...
The Piranesi has activated more subsystems. Its threat level has increased. He will attack more frequently.
Great. But yeah, no, like it is... Oh! He's central... Oh, that's what he's doing. He's deploying drones onto planets, and then afterwards we can't get back to them. He's trying to box us in. So this is why we needed all the... Yup, look at all that fucking carbon or all that, polymer we need. The good news is we are well suited to the task with the stockpiles that we have. Meanwhile, boom, finally a use for all these polymer refineries.
Warning, a sector is being overworked.
But yeah, Newcom is very much simplified, for better or for worse. I say worse. I am also a nerd who enjoys these number games. It's enjoyable for what it is, but I would not... I eventually bounced off of Newcom for that specific reason. Yeah. And most of the mods that are a result of
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon. Population transfer complete.
Hold on, what do we got? Okay. Probe unlocked. Good, good, good. The closest we get to a old COM game is
Entering Stellar Storm.
Is Xenonauts, and even then they simplified the piss out of that too, which is like, no, we want it to be more complex. That was the point, you fools!
The Piranesi has launched a missile targeting the Tycoon.
How many fucking missiles is that thing boating? The problem is that casual was always going to be good. Which, nothing wrong with that, but it does have its consequences. Because sometimes having a lower difficulty strategy game or a simplified strategy game can be fine to bring people into the medium. The problem is, they don't look at that, they just see, holy shit, this style of game made a lot of money. A whole shit ton of money. They don't look for why those mechanics work or trying to make them more sophisticated. They just do. The Melon team will build Icarus 3, the explosive charge that will trigger PSR-12A and neutralize the Paranazi. Alright, they're building their thing, we're building our thing. Until it becomes economically prudent to make those complicated games again. We're going to get this spree of the board tactical games. We're not going to get war games anymore. Not for a while. Which kinda sucks, but it is what it is. Oh, trust me. I sympathize with those feelings extensively. Puzzle solving is half the game for me. Yeah, I've been seeing a few strategy RPGs pop up, and those have been interesting affairs. Sector 6, why the hell aren't you delivering your food? Sector 6, why didn't you eat your food? What in the fuck?
The science ship team has completed a task. The Piranesi has launched a missile targeting the Tycoon.
Oh, good, it's catching up to us. The Icarus 3 is ready for launch.
The Piranesi has activated more subsystems. Its threat level has increased. He will attack more frequently.
The thing is, Disgaea isn't really all that tactical. It's just big numbers, which is fun, but... The Melon team will launch the Icarus 3 and activate the Pulsar. The Pulse will neutralize the Paranazi. The Melon will be destroyed in the process, but the crew will enter cryonic pods to survive the Pulse.
incident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Oh, they're doing extra hours. Tycoon Mobile. And do remember that character building is more of a modern Disgaea concept. Otherwise, most of the time you're just building up gear in the numbers and essentially what weapon skills they had.
Population transfer
Evil Tease was Disgaea 4, and very limited. Sightseeing. Visit 15 planets. Oh, I guess the Tycoon has to personally visit them. You want your brain to do the braining
cyber
things.
attack launched by the Piranesi has disabled several mess halls. Warning. Entering Piranesi drone-controlled area. A science ship team has completed a task.
Icarus 3 has detonated and activated the pulsar. The crew of the Melon had time to enter cryonic pods before life support infrastructure was terminated.
The Piranesi has been defeated.
Boom! Damn. And don't take the gamble there, Liquetrian. But yes, we just nuked it with a star. Because desperate times calls for desperate solutions.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
You mean any worse than the negative health effect of getting absolutely own-zoned by a battleship? We have successfully entered the Paranazi through a breach in its hull. All doors and airlocks not damaged by the pulse have closed. Most systems that are visible appear to have melted. The walls ooze a black, gritty oil. The Paranazi has been disabled by the pulse. Its drones have been fried, its missiles detonated. As the pulse hit, electric arcs and explosions rippled across the ship's hull. The Tychon's crew standing witness to all the while. And these absolute units are coming home, too.
A science share team has completed a task.
Yeah, orange is a storm.
A violent strike has started on board the Tycoon.
16 members died from fucking starvation?
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Has died from a lack of nutrition is a symptom of supply chain malfunction.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
What in the fuck? You are the fucking agri-sector. There is food literally peeling off the fucking walls. What is wrong with you people? Also, hey, MJM. Yeah, apparently I do. I will... Fucking full-ass Gandhi, food strike here. Yeah, apparently these buildings just did not exist. What the fuck? What the That is wacky as hell. The interior of the Paranazi has been severely damaged. Blue fire still flickers in corners of the ship. Whole areas have collapsed in on themselves. Some of the debris looks almost organic. We've taken pictures of what appear to be biological neural networks seemingly used in the activation of the ship's airlocks. Drones litter the floor and hang from broken piping. On our way to the storage location, we passed a huge translucent pod. Decaying bodies float in the white bath of liquid it contains. You can see the color of their uniforms. Crew from the Etamanaki. Despite many obstacles, we've reached the devices that hold the Rima's coordinates. We're ready to activate transfer. But yeah, no, space weather really does exist, and it is about as deadly as portrayed.
A sector is being overworked.
Get some spare crew in there. Annoying as it is, it's understandable. I could see why there's, suddenly just a glitch that fires off in this moment.
Population transfer complete.
Once the Titan is connected, we'll finally be able to retrieve the Volt coordinates and reach Remus and establish a new home. Watch if Remus is just a shithole or something like that. Going all this way, all the sacrifices, then Dead Earth Syndrome -10, we went all this way. Also still have fear of Paranazi, despite the fact we just took it out. Why are you fuckers still starving? Swear to God. Oh my God, yeah, no, there's just something fucking...
The science ship team has completed a task.
Transfer is complete. All lights are green. We took advantage of the time it took to recover the coordinates to analyze what's left of the systems on board the Paranazi. The use of its main weapon and the Etamanaki's defensive efforts left it terribly weakened. The ship still seems to vibrate, with what perhaps could be called its final breaths. It should not be long before it fully collapses in on itself. We should get as far away as possible. When this amalgamation of evil technology breathes their last at the end of its agony, it could be devastating. Well, for now, I'm gonna make sure Sector 6 doesn't just kill itself through a hunger strike. Then we punch it. Actually, yes, it does. It's probably mounted to somewhere near the center of the... Instead of being mounted on one of the arms of the Titan, it's mounted near the center. Probably equipped to, like, the Oh. Actually, that looks still really damn cool. It's mounted to the center, probably, where the giant hole is, for the purposes of being able to connect like that. Because the Titan, in a previous entry, was theorized to be able to have that mechanical arm.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Fuck it. You guys will handle your shit when you do, I guess.
In accordance with Ralph Stanford procedures, all ships must return to the Tycoon before Volt Jump initiation.
Everything's here. All the science ships are here.
Ixion engine ready.
Let's go. Punch it. And we are landing.
Full jump complete. Running preliminary diagnostics. I sense Remus. We have reached the Ilia system. Structural failure of the Tycoon is near. We should initiate the Neocond colonization protocol.
Systems online. Despite the interference from the high cloud over Palatine, our probe is still able to detect unusually high levels of mercury on the surface. The planet's environment is toxic, but should not pose a problem to our teams. We've landed on Palatine near the highest registered concentrations of mercury. A huge river of the element flows over a cliff, a waterfall in silver, ending in an ocean several kilometers away. And we can't stay in the in-between. To put it simply, we're basically using our FTL drive. You can't stay still long enough for that to check. I probably have to colonize my entire population at this point. The worst mortal posture is the one that makes all values null and void. It provokes, ultimately, violence and destruction, despair and darkness. We must keep in mind that guaranteeing the future of humanity is a source of joy that nothing can extinguish. Working with Nokend, we drew a lot of inspiration from biological patterns to advance technique and infrastructure. Deploy the Lavaseer.
An accident has occurred in the typhoon.
Well, they're not starving, but... Oh, they're not dying, but it's certainly pissing them off. And you know what? We're late enough in the game. We'll be fine. Apparently, people are just flipping around when they want a hunger strike.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Fragmented transmissions from the Lavaseer's crew are coming in at an extremely rapid rate. They say that they've arrived on site and have been waiting for instructions for several cycles now. Oh god, it only is 0.3. You know, this is now an ice storage. Store all the ice in here. That allows me to actually, you know, dump this ice storage I've got. Which is great, honestly.
Greetings, people of the BBS Tycoon.
Oh god, what is that thing?
Third generation. We, the Ixion guides, know that you have been searching for Remus for a long time. However, we have established a delicately balanced ecosystem here on this planet that cannot suffer your presence. We remember Dolas as our first and closest ally, as the one who made the Neocon Parsheville teachings visible. Pioneers of genetic conatus, you have suffered repression, persecution, and extermination. In memory of the doors you opened for us, of our common past, it is our turn to open the door for you. There is a way for you and your crew to join us. You may be a part of our community. Shape it. We will no longer be we. You will no longer be you. We will become us. For this to happen, you will need to be genetically optimized for life on Remus. We will incorporate your genetic heritage into our society. You will follow the elder process my predecessor applied to us. You will be adapted to the planet's gravity, to photosynthesize. You will live in symbiosis with Remus. Let me be clear. Humanity's mistake has been its attempts to transform ecosystems, to deny its place in them. We do not terraform, we change. We are not intruders. We are a crystalline part of the ecosystem. You will live longer and work according to your abilities and passions.
They're communist!
Guide us with pragmatism, intellect, empathy, and with sensibility. We have no other interest than to follow genetic conatus. Let us show you the new cradle of humanity. Trust in genetic conatus. We followed a self-similar pattern.
Oh, that's fucking great. Fragmented transmission from the Lavaseer's crew are coming in at an extremely rapid rate. They say they've arrived on site and are waiting instruction. Let's see. We are no longer receiving transmission from the Lavaliers tier. Biometric report data suggests the team experienced accelerated aging. This led to insanity, hunger, hydration, and finally death. The expedition will be declared lost, but automated flight protocols will recover the Lavaseer. Employees are like fruits. They cannot be squeezed forever and give their best juice. Team rotation. Almost all of Palatine's weather systems have been infiltrated by mercury. The resulting dense and toxic cloud cover would not prove conducive to development of life or any potential colonization efforts. Well, I guess we can locate the source of the river.
Accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
The team of the Scout discovered the source, a huge lake of mercury from which the liquid metal flows. During survey efforts, Ruslan Dolgorov fell into the lake and seems to have ingested large amounts of the mercury. They were saved by the team, but the mission reports detail how Ruslan experienced multiple hallucinatory visions from the exposure. Ruslan describes witnessing UN attacks on Dola's infrastructure, wars and famine sweeping across Earth, massive crowds being crushed together, fleeing from deadly mobs. Dola's security protocols recommend Duslan be transferred to an infirmary immediately.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Romulus. Naomi Protocol, commencing DDoS attack to flood Eden Vigilance Network. Administrator, this is Hane Kolobuki of Sector 1 Scientific Syndicate. We're once again taking the liberty of overwriting Dolo's protocols in order to contact you. We did some analysis on Eden after she was attacked by the Pararenzi's PA. We've unearthed some interesting files. Information on Remus and numerous colonization protocols were present in Eden's database from the beginning of the Tycoon mission. And that's not all. We've also discovered details on another viable exoplanet within the Ilia system, the planet Romulus. This planet has been masked so it does not appear in any reports you receive. We've put in place administrative countermeasures and encourage you to send a team to the planet. Loud and clear. First, I'm going to check out what the hell's going on over at Remus. Then we'll head a team over to Romulus. Numinator. And of course, they've already got prime luxury, you know. Billing. The crew's hallucinating, symptoms of death or sickness and UN propaganda. Romulus doesn't exist. Administrator, there's no planet here. Also, the fact that we've had this system in our database the entire time is a, you want to tell me about that one?
Arrived at its destination.
Administrator, we were greeted most solemnly by the Ashtanganites. Their morphology is different to ours. Taller, thinner, their skin has a slight green shade to it. Atmospheric readings indicate oxygen is present, but in insufficient quantities to support the unadapted Titan crew on Remus without respiratory assistance. We've not witnessed any signs of poverty or conflict. The population density is much lower than that of Earth we've left. What in the hell? It's not letting me conduct the mission. Maybe I need to meet with the people of Remus first. We'll see how this goes. Now, we probably have to be clever in some capacity to see the truth of the matter. Because there is some fucky shit going on here. 3-factor authentication.
A new request awaits your attention.
Administrator, this is Hanake Kotobuki of Sector 1 Scientific Syndicate. Eden continues to block Romulus despite our countermeasures. I won't beat around the bush any longer. We need to shut down Eden. She's altering all data presented to you, as well as the data that crew members exchange with each other. You probably already noticed this already. Eden obeys the principles of Dolos, which today are probably more than a century out of date. She's programmed to prevent us from reading Romulus and making a fresh start. She won't deviate from the old dreams of the long-crushed corporations that brought about the Lunaclism. She's totally disconnected from the crew, including you, have gone through and are still going through. We've successfully deposited a protocol for disconnection in the EVA airlock database. Please, Administrator, you're our only hope.
A science ship team has completed a task.
We've met with the Ashtonites representatives. We were surprised at first by the limited ceremony of what seems to be a momentous occasion. Received on a beach, we were then taken to a cliff top that looked out over their ocean. Many Ashtonites joined in the gathering. Some simply watched, others inspected our suits and devices. Following our exchanges with Agora and other members of the Ashtonite hierarchy, a proposal was made. If we agree to join them, the Ashtonites will reveal the locations of temples within the Ilia system. Each temple contains a fragment of a blueprint for our bioengineering center. Constructing this on board the Titan would allow us to adapt ourselves for life on Remus. Well, here's the thing. There's no point in burning them out because the planet actually can't support humanity. Loop recall. That's an anonymous name. Oh, wait. I was like, isn't it there? Nope, it's right here. Eden deactivation. Administrator.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
We've entered Numenor's atmosphere. Opaque and crimson, it makes spotting anything here difficult. Extreme pressure readings have been recorded near the planet's liquid core. Alright. Push it out. What do we got? Prepare for the colonization of Romulus. Oh, I guess we just detached, or we did something. Oh, they're deactivated. Oh, the game's quiet now. Yeah, turning her off turns off also the voiceover. That's a neat little attention to detail, damn. Preliminary data shows many inconsistencies. Abertine emits large amounts of particles that are not supposed to be detached from an atomic structure. Though these emissions do not appear to impose any physical danger to our science teams, theorized psychological impacts range from the unknown to the disastrous. Dolo security protocols recommend extreme caution. We've landed on the planet. A powdery layer of yellow sulfur covers Abertine. It falls to many crevices strewn about the planet's surface. The interior of the hollow planet is revealed through these fissures, which offer a spectacular view down to Averntine's core. It is unlike anything we've seen. Telluric pillars support the planet's surface, reaching up out of the central, perfectly spherical core. Like a metallic seed, it seems to absorb the rain of powdered sulfur that falls down upon it from above. The team of the Lavaseer had great difficulty establishing a studying protocol for the planet's core. After multiple attempts, conclusions indicate that the huge central sphere interacts with elementary particles, including bosons and Faust tachyons. In a selective and unpredictable manner, 10 previously unknown elementary particles have been identified. Data from the Avertine's core analysis will pave the way for new scientific and technological models for years to come. The Lavaseer team will analyze samples from the Avertine. Standard Dolos protocols are obsolete on such an atypical planet, and the team will have to adapt. Yup, we've yeeted the AI. No, because she's dead set on going to Remus, despite the fact that, they're not human anymore. She's had the database for this entire system from the beginning. Analysis indicates that the mass-defining particles that constitute the matter of Averntine possess an altered state. The surface of the planet contains many isotopes previously thought impossible. Many of our theoretical models have been called into question following the discoveries made on Aventine. Unfortunately, the planet's surface is extremely friable, making any longer-term exploration attempts unviable. Vulcan has electromagnetic disturbances all across the planet. It's a comet, so not happening.
People of the VVS Tycoon, we have detected the presence of a BMS warship in the Ilia system.
Oh, fuck
The
me!
Uranasi has followed in the footsteps of your Vol trace.
Oh,
We have no
great!
weapons, no military solution against such an enemy. To ensure the survival of this settlement in Ilia, you will have to find a way to silence him, once and for all.
Great! Yet turns out he didn't get nuked after all. This is the team of the Lavaseer. We've landed on Vulcan. Proximity analysis indicates the comet is shedding large amounts of boron. Significant electromagnetic disturbances have also been detected. They appear to be similar in nature to those that were observed on Rotansky Comet and the Immortan system. Well, let's hit it. How long is it gonna take to make the damn ship? Yeah, we have to live here, my dude. Not as easy of a solution when we... Yep, there he is. God, it feels so weird for everything to be so quiet. We ventured down to the crevices of Vulcan, seeking the source of the electromagnetic disturbances. Entering a small cave of luminescent boron crystals, we stopped to take readings. It seemed to vary. Proceeding further in, we found a large floating gray sphere, similar to the ones found by the gear crew. Oh. Oh. That's referencing the first ship that went in back, like, way the fuck back then. This is their tech. Great! After liaison with the Tychon's scientific community, a number of controversial theories have been put forward and proposals have been made for possible experiments that might be attempted on the sphere. Debate continues. I've been noting a growing fascination for the sphere among the other expedition members. This is absurd because it's only for me. Based on our previous interactions on the Rokanoski, the scientists of the Tychon have proposed a number of theoretical experiments that can be conducted on the sphere. This should allow for a complete mapping of the electromagnetic interactions generated by it. Also, we can no longer go to Remus because the AI was what was guiding us in there. This is the crew of the Gear. I don't know how you managed it, Administrator, but we've returned. We've been with the Gear, existing in ways that seem inconceivable to us now. Passing through strange solid, liquid, and gaseous land, matter behaved in a pattern outside of our accepted understanding. Time was not linear. Days were lived where the chronology of actions was not the same for every member of the team. We drifted in this Faucian morass, lost until we extracted by the Lavaseer team. Our ship is now in orbit of Vulcan. Good to have you back, boys. In the rear, with the Gear. Administrator, everything confirms this sad truth. The Paranasi has followed us into the Ilia system. Great.
Administrator, I am not dead yet. I will feed on your pitiful community. I will build my rebirth. Are you ready for your simulation?
We did damage. The crew of the Lavaseer will prepare the Administrator site. The area will house infrastructure for oxygen recycling, energy generation, and temperature maintenance. Administrator, we, the crew of the Lavaseer, will supervise the colonization procedure. We have access to all the Romulus data. No more Eden protocols will keep us from the planet. We should start by building the necessary infrastructure. There is, however, a small issue. Romulus's atmosphere will make mass population transfer down to the planet difficult. Using cargo ships will result in a loss of 70% of colonists. Chlorine in the upper atmosphere will cause strong aerodynamic heating, which our cargo ships are not built to withstand. Wait a minute. There's chlorine in the atmosphere. How's that better? Fuck. This is Hane Kotobuki from Scientific Syndicate of Sector 1. The EMV Sharon shuttle, the ship you arrived on, is still stored within the Taiken. If we could recondition it, it could carry a lot of people, many more than a cargo ship could. I mean, its heat dissipation ability alone gets me excited. We prepared a project in the tech lab. We can break down the shuttle's plans, replicate the design, and build more shuttles. All the crew can reach Romulus. Sharon, our shuttle is in fact a jewel of calometric understanding. I know for a fact that its use will be wider than we can imagine. Because there's been locks. They've done what they can to try and lock us out. Lupercal's atmosphere is very thin and very toxic. Visible particles hang suspended within it and move in the light winds of the planet. Impressively, vast quantities of diamond encrust Lupercal's surface. The thin atmosphere will provide little protection. We have chosen a study location that rarely experiences direct exposure to Ilia, the star of the system. Any increase of Lupercal's surface temperature could jeopardize the team's safety. After several surveys, the team of the Scout discovered the existence of a second, much smaller and denser core of the Numenor. Self-similar space particles were also detected, and the team proposed that there is a correlation between the pressure of these particles and the core's strong geothermal activity. Yep, gotta train colonists. Construct 20 shuttles. I don't think it's moving yet. What's this missing technology? Went through the entire game and haven't seen it yet. Hane Kotobuki here from the Scientific Syndicate of Sector 1. So, good news and bad news. Good news is that we found a solution to permanently solve the Perazi problem. Now that we've finally reached a viable exoplanet, the Tycoon has no further purpose. As such, we propose the following. While preparations are being made for colonization, the Tycoon sector should be filled with batteries. Once they're charged and the crew ready for an exit, a flight path will be plotted for the Tycoon to crash into the Paranazi. According to our calculations and based off our recent experiences within the PSR B1257 system, igniting the stored power should be enough to destroy the warship. Now, here's the bad news. Only you can command the Tycoon systems. If we were to disconnect you, you have to be on board when the Tycoon crashes. I'm sorry. Except we did extra work on the Protagoras. Use the copy of the Protagoras' PA to direct the Tycoon through its last moments. Yeah, fuck this sacrifice thing. I'm gonna live. Build enough batteries to cover an area of 1,000 tiles and prepare the colonists. So they want me to make a big boom? I can make a big boom. Yeah, with all due respect, I still got a job once we land on planet. Yeah, I'll just cut the goddamn Gordian knot, thank you. Paranese isn't moving, though, so it's taken more damage than it's initially projected. Large quantities of data have been sent by the team on the Lupercal. They've identified the presence of Faust tachyons on the planet, and their reports contain a great excitement about potential new discoveries. Volt jump theory and Faust's work on matter undulation. However, we've received a concerning message from the infrastructure's dedicated PA warning about the team's behavior becoming unusual. Dolo security protocols recommend an immediate conclusion to the mission. The crew of the Forcult are refusing to leave the planet. They claim they still have important research to complete on Lupercal. Well, that's kind of shitty, the fact that I just got to go, oh, well, fuck them. The Furcult's team has breached Dolo's contractual terms. In response to situations as these, we retain the legal right to terminate all obligations to employees in question. An invoice will be sent to their families for any resulting material losses. What in the shit? Couldn't we just said, fine, fuck it? Now I was trying to be smart for once and not have planetary fuckery happen. The administrator's site has been built, energy faculties are operational, oxygen recycling systems are up and running, and the site is being maintained at an optimal 18 degrees. We have also collected some relevant data on the atmospheric entry issue and have sent this to the Tychon to support efforts there. Preparing Syndicate site. Oh, trust me, we'll be fine. We unintentionally have such massive stockpiles that, Alright, so let's see. We still need more shuttles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so new theory just came to mind. What if the entire reason for this was to deliver us to these folks and just be a convenient meal ticket for an ally? That we were always supposed to join this quote-unquote society. That would be sufficiently grim. And this is a sufficient fuck you, we make our own fate maneuver right here. We should have more than enough batteries. Well, the Ashtonites absolutely wanted us to join their little cult society. You know what? I'm pushing that power plant to its maximum just to get these batteries charged. They're working... Why are they working extra hours? Power's back online. Guys, now's a really bad time to not, you know, do your fucking jobs. We need iron out there, like, stat. The Syndicate site is finished. Agricultural systems are operational. The infirmary is ready and stocked, and research labs have been set up with all the necessary equipment. We've completed more than half of the work required to successfully colonize Romulus. The crew of the Lavaseer will prepare the Ashtanganite site. We'll be able to produce refined resources and maintain our vehicles and infrastructure. We'll be fine. Iron supplies are gonna hold, but we definitely need to get some extra iron in here. Thankfully, they're doing so right now. As long as our alloy, yeah, we can maintain for enough cycles to be fine. In fact, just to be doubly sure, yeah, we're fine. It hasn't moved. Oh no, it is slowly moving. Well, they're stated to have no form of defense whatsoever because apparently they're all a bunch of goddamn hippies and never invested in their ability to self-actuate or otherwise defend themselves. I do kind of wish that this thing would get progressively more and more fucked up as you went along. It still looks like it's in pristine condition. They could at least assume that the UN would be after their ass. I wonder what that last technology is, like, genuinely so, because I apparently never discovered it. Construction of the Ashtonite site is completed. A multi-factory allows to transform the raw materials of Romulus into usable materials. Vehicle and storage bay and technical maintenance teams are operational. The first human city on Romulus has just been born. I suppose this is it. The batteries are charged, everything's lined up. The end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is never.
Administrator, if you are listening to this message, it means the Tycoon has reached its destination, despite the unpredictable
Game
that framed the equation of its journey.
I am aware it's supposed to be a cutscene.
Whether the one planned
It's
for
sounding like
or
one.
another. These survivors have already begun to lay the foundations of a new cradle, where creativity, invention, and joy can bloom again. Perhaps you already understand why I insisted
Oh God!
Why the mission launch was precipitated.
There we go!
That the lunicalism was inevitable. I also understood that any attempt to save our species after this would have been doomed to fail. You took the helm in the only launch window available to us. Thanks to you, our efforts, our mistakes, our sins and sacrifices will sink into oblivion, into the past, while the first pages are written for a newly born humanity.
Dog! Okay, so so we're gonna try this again, so we can actually watch the cutscene as intended. So he mentioned that the lunicalism was inevitable. Not really. We put a giant hole in it. That wasn't inevitable. That was, something potentially avoidable. Very avoidable, in fact. Catastrophe avoided. Destroy the Piranesi before it destroys a planet. Oh, it was slowly trucking over to, oh, it was going over there to bomb them out of oblivion. Eh, better him than me. Replace Eden with the PA of the Pythagoras. Tycoon contender. Have a member of the Tycoon compose a rap song about the administrator. Well, let me actually get the autosave and try to do that again so I can actually watch the end cutscene like I want to. Otherwise, it seems like it kind of ends abruptly, but you are an exploration mission. The entire point is to, you know, reach the end destination, and you do. Mutual loyalty. The Barozzi survives the journey. Tycoon Unchained. Finish the game by emancipating yourself from Dolos. So there's an achievement for surviving with the dog, implying there's an event that can kill the dog. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting a feeling of. It's like, huh? Eh? Oh, God. Fucking damn it. Alright, well, we're gonna have to just power through this again. So we can watch the cutscene again. Also, hi, Glaive. The ending is leaving me with a resounding... What? What events kill the doggo? Like, what in the fuck? I know they're, you know, the AI is like, maybe we shouldn't have a dog on board. We tell that guy to go get bent. Why would you eat the dog? Okay, that makes that event actually, you know, impactful rather than just, free science. No, they murder Doggo in that case. That's genuinely shit. There is no endless mode, and I don't think there's gonna be an endless mode. This is a very story-based game, so unfortunately, when there's no story to follow, there's not a whole lot of motivation to play the game, because honestly, after a very rough start, you're kind of good for the rest of the game. Again, here's the problem. Where do you go? Yeah, though with Frostpunk, you have more overarching problems. Not that Ixion doesn't have those problems, but once you solve your logistical concerns on the Titan, you're generally good to go. But that early part can be very rough. In Frostpunk, the main concern you run into in that circumstance is I'm trying to find a good comparison. Nah, actually, Frostpunk is... well, I usually have a problem every map. You're encouraged to keep expanding, to keep going bigger, because every vol jump fucks up your hull. It makes you more fragile. You will eventually run out of natural resources in a map, but there's no real hard penalty to stalling other than very little science, which is crucial for your endeavors. But, like, if you have the right setup, you absolutely could just stall for as long as you can. But to be fair, this is also kind of a vibe game. It's very much a case of... the journey is part of it. Once you've experienced the journey, you've kind of experienced the major part of the game. And to be fair, it's a very comfortable journey. Slightly stressful at times, but not as hard as people make it out to be, honestly. Yeah, but that's incredibly boring, Shira. You have to wait 30 cycles for one science. That's not very optimal. We're talking you probably could have completed the game multiple times over by that point. It is sad, but on the other hand, it's meant to be an arc. And after 5 jumps, the thing is literally falling apart. It's taking 178 hull damage roughly every cycle. And it only has 500 hull. This thing is just done. It's also not made for re-entry either. The least it can do is stop, you know, the Piranesi from doing terrible things to people who don't deserve it. Or notably, nuking Remus so we can't colonize it later. In theory, it could make another jump. We can keep it sustained. but this thing is at the end of its lifespan. It was intended for only 2 jumps. One there, one back. It's made 5 without any, advanced industrial capacity to keep it alive. It is well beyond a shelf life. But yeah, I would say the biggest problem that Ixion does have to a capacity is that they try to get you to speed up, quote-unquote, but they also... When you don't know about research, everything is misery and trying to get everything up in time and making sure everything's balanced and all that jazz. And to be fair, they do get you cooking for resources for quite some time. However, at the same volition, some research is just so devastatingly OP that you never need to make farms. For instance, if you manage to get down Space Chef, 150% more food. Insect farms are 1 food every cycle, and you can make it grow faster. Not forget to mention, the buildings are smaller, so you can make your agri-sector much more condensed. It's ridiculous. I think another one is that if you go full recycling policy and build it right, first of all, you don't need water, so this thing isn't a drain. Then the recycling station is every 50 gets converted to either 50 alloys, 20 polymers, or 1 electronic, so you can just absolutely survive off of quite literal shit. Well, actually, there's not even a penalty for eating bugs. It's just logistically not conducive, so to speak. Like, normally you want to build a farm because it actually, gets you a lot more food for a lot less space, but if you already don't need to eat all that much, and you grow a lot of bugs, well, you're good to go. Somewhere's overworked again. You're overworked. Actually, no one's been born on this ship. Everyone's been looted from essentially cryopods or other forms of, Oh, we know plenty about the battleship. I think the asshole at the beginning of the game was the guy who was, like, crunching on an apple. Yeah, I think he put... So the Marduk Council put themselves all into PAs, and we've run into quite a few of them over the game. Like, the Protagoras is quite literally the company CEO digitizing himself. The Paranzi is another member of the Marduk Council, specifically the asshole who... Since leaving Earth, we've lost 202 crew members. Even without being an expert in Dr. Munchi's crowd psychology theories, it will not have escaped your notice that as the number of deaths increase, so too does the prevalence of dread Earth sickness. I finished the game with 150 people who were dead. Let me guess, all of them just starved? No. Wait, I've only lost 150 crew. Fuck off, you. Okay, the end of the game's starting to be real fucking glitchy. But yeah, I kind of wish there was more conclusion to matters. I know it's trying to end on a hopeful note, but it's like, I don't know, there's just not a whole lot to go off of for the ending. You just basically fucking T-bone the shit out of Paranzi, or whatever the... I'm... Oh, right, shit, shuttles. You guys didn't make shuttles. Paranzi, thank you. Okay, so I can't preemptively just run over there and go bomb the, Paranzi. I will say there was damage done to this thing, at least, because it's limping to where it's going. Yeah, the fact it's alive is a miracle, but even it has its limits as a mega battleship. Okay, don't fuck me over this time, game.
Administrator.
Yeah, it's a
If
little
you're listening
behind.
to this message, it means the Tycoon has reached its destination, despite the unpredictable parameters that framed the
Thank you,
equation of its
Protagoras.
journey. The crew have found a new home, whether the one planned for or another. These survivors have already begun to lay the foundations of a new cradle, where creativity, invention, and joy can bloom again. Perhaps you already understand why I insisted, why the mission launch was precipitated. When I discovered that the lunaclism was inevitable, I also understood that any attempt to save our species after this would have been doomed to fail. You took the helm in the only launch window available to us. Thanks to you, our efforts, our mistakes, our sins and sacrifices will sink into oblivion, into the past, while the first pages are written for a newly born humanity.
It'll be impressive if anything hits the surface and still is in one piece. It's gonna burn up an atmosphere pretty hard. The Tycoon, equally so. That thing is even less capable, especially since we made it a giant station-sized bomb. But most of the technology on the Tycoon was preserved going down, so it's not like, without some time and ability to rebuild, that humanity could not punch out of Romulus and start getting back to the stars. Yeah, nothing surviving of the Tycoon other than maybe pieces of sheet metal. And even then, that sheet metal was already damaged by jumping 5 times out into the void. What do I think of Ixion? To damn with faint praise, well, congratulations, lads. Now you don't need to buy the game. This is very much a story-based game, and I do feel to some degree I may have ruined it for some people. Now, people who didn't see the earlier parts may be interested in going on the journey themselves, or even just playing the game. It's not as hard as people make it out to be, but I do worry that there's not really a whole lot left to go back to. Like, there's a split ending choice at the end there for, you know, a different way of doing things, but... yeah. I don't find linear games to be bad. In fact, I quite support the fact of I would rather have a game that's well crafted rather than a game with random generation, because you can't curate that experience. I would say that Ixion's worth a play, but I would fully understand why someone wouldn't want to, you know, like, if they've watched somebody else play it, they've gotten the majority of the experience. Which is a problem, because I don't believe the encounters are semi-random. They are very linear affairs. And the problem with Ixion as well is that just... I don't see how an endless mode helps the game. The city building aspect is not robust enough to support that kind of endeavor. Ixion is fun, don't get me wrong. I certainly was engrossed enough that I put in 10-hour sessions. Well, the Frostpunk, people wanted to build the biggest city they could, and there's at least a little bit... there's at least more to build with on the city. Maybe that's a little disingenuous. I don't know. It felt like Frostpunk had more things you could build that were more immediately relevant, but that really could just be a paint job between Order and Faith. If they do an expansion DLC to this game, yeah, they're going to need to expand on your options. Yeah. Honestly, my game was pretty bug-free up until the end here, where it just started to just fucking explode. Which is fine, honestly. Like, yeah, you guys can fix that. And for the most part, this is a... I give them credit for getting us a full release that did what it wanted to do, did it well, and I had a good time with it. If I was dumping 10, 12-hour sessions into this without even realizing the time... there's something good here. And as a core, as a core game, Ixion is a complete product. I do say it's worth the investment. However, without something to come back to, I don't think I'd pick up Ixion more than once. Industries are too simplistic. You're mostly solving logistics chains, and you're more just trying to keep the ship alive long enough to complete objectives, which is fine. But I think people were expecting more from the colony building experience. I would say that, yeah, new side mission, new buildings on a side mission, expanding the scope of Ixion would be very much a good way of getting some new life into this. Linear isn't bad, but we're gonna need some new campaigns if we're gonna keep going through this. At the end of the day, too long, didn't listen. I say it's worth it for a journey. Oh, it's gonna be a second completely unrelated ship. And yeah, no, if replayability is a major factor, which is a very fair thing to ask of your game, then no, I can't recommend Ixion. This is very specifically curated for a very specific kind of experience and a very specific kind of audience, which is why I'm giving it a bit of a soft touch here. I've played worse. I've experienced worse. This appeals to me, so yeah, no, obviously I'm on that like flies on shit, but if this is not your kind of game, if this is not how you, if you're not into a kind of a light colony builder, problem solving, exploration type game, then yeah, no, this is not for you. I'd not recommend. But at least it's not a recommend by the simple fact of this game isn't for you. If the game is not for you, wow, words. If the game is not, well, okay, brain works again. If the game is not for you, it's because of what it is, rather than the game's about $35 and I've put in about 25 hours. You could reasonably put in about 20 hours, so if you want to do a cost analysis, 30 divided by 30, 20 by, well, 35 divided by 20. You're paying about $1.75 an hour. But, okay, back to the top, sorry. I can at least say that the game, if I don't recommend it to you, is specifically because it doesn't appeal to you. It's not fucking broken like, say, Cyberpunk 2077, which was an absolute buggy mess on launch.